All right. First and foremost, I'm gonna say all praises be to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem Makar Kodash, and I'm gonna say double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the sincere elect, teaching us truth and faith and sincerity. Quick topic I want to speak on is upon the mark of the beast, man. And I found something. I found this to be interesting because I saw this article a couple of days ago. And at the time, I wasn't gonna do a video on it, but spirit kind of hit me, and now it's time. And I saw this article, and I just was going into some information, and it's spiritual because back then when the C-19 shots first came to pass, like I remember brothers back then going deep into the information, saying that the C-19 shots are not the mark of the beast, but it can be getting people's body prepared and ready for when the mark is, I mean, like, established. And if you go into that information, it's true. So one thing that we do know, when the C-19 shots first came to pass, was that there was information out on it containing the material called graphene oxide, right? Graphene oxide, and there's so much basically like information on that, like on how it can revolutionize things in terms of making microchips faster, and making basically a person's body a wireless sensor, more or less. Obviously, like, I'm not gonna go too deep into this information, but it was spiritual. So I saw this article a couple of days ago, and it says graphene will change the world. The boss using the super material in the global microchip war, and it just basically goes into how this material can be used to even make things faster. I'll just hit a couple points in this article, but before I do that, I just want to get a quick scripture, man. Right, this is Second Corinthians 2:11. It says, "Lest Satan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices." You see, and if you go into the word, into the same scripture, right, in 2 Corinthians 2:11 in the New Living Translation, it says, "So that Satan will not outsmart us, for we are familiar with his evil schemes." And when the C-19 first came, and it was passing out them shots, starting off with our apostles and elders on down, it was made clear, don't take him, man. You know what I mean? Straight up, it was like it was made clear. Now, of course, we know explicitly that the mark of the beast is the implantable RFID chip, right? But what we do know and have seen through information that's coming out is that these shots will basically help make them things, those chips work faster and more, efficiently from what the information is saying so far, right? So but then if we go to the word for devices, is the Greek word noema, right, which means a perception, i.e. purpose, intellect, and it says thought and evil purpose. You see, and what we're seeing with these shots, for people who have taken them, that there's people's bodies breaking down. Remember that documentary died suddenly, and even on BitU, which I'm also post this video,
because I have seen some nanoparticles, this dark carbon.
What I'm also do with
muscles, lungs, these big particles. I'm sure those are graphene.
Yeah. So what I'm also do with I'm sure brother has seen this video. It kind of goes into some information, man. All right. But anyway, I have a couple, like articles. Going through a lot of info. But let's go back to the main article. It says graphene and other 2D materials will change the status quo to provide technologies we have never seen before and performance levels we have never ever seen before. In electronics, it will have a huge effect on reducing energy consumption and creating faster semiconductors. Right, so it's basically talking about making things, faster, and it even said this here, which I found very interesting. It says paragraph, right? Graph, right, has thrown its weight behind biosensors, which can detect the difference between viral and bacterial infections to determine whether a person needs antibiotics. It can also reveal the presence of conditions such as C19 or spot infectious diseases or plants or animals. Now it says plants and animals, but really it's people. You see? Let me read that again. Which can it says behind biosensors, which can detect the difference between viral and bacterial infections to determine whether a person needs antibiotics. It can also reveal the presence of conditions such as C19 or spot infectious diseases in plants or animals. Now, what's interesting is, remember a couple years ago, this article came out, right? It shows you, man. It says Pentagon team reveals C19 detecting chip that can be implanted into your body. DARPA, a US military research lab, has developed a chip that can continuously test people's blood for the new C19. The invention is in its late stage testing and could be administered to sailors, researchers say. And this article came out a couple years ago. You see, 2021. Now, back then when our apostles and elders and down was, speaking about this information when it was fresh, people was calling us conspiracy theorists and shit and stuff like that. But well, guess what? It's coming to pass before our eyes. See, it's coming to pass before our eyes, which ties into this scripture, Habakkuk chapter 2, and 3. It says, "For let me start from 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me on the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved. And the Lord answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And it's speaking. These things are taking shape before our eyes. Right? This information on DARPA and all of that was back in 2021. In a couple of days, it's 2024, and they're speaking about it in different ways. So upon going into this research, I found another article that was posted 18th December 2023. So like what, last week or the week before, right? It says science fiction to science fact. You see, conspiracy theories are generally nuts. Well, here we are, right? What did it say? New graphene brain implant to treat neurological disorders. New graphene brain implant to treat neurological disorders. And again, when you go into the information of graphene, which I'm still learning more and more about it, you know what I mean? I'm just learning more about it. The main point that they make is that it could make chips and computer and wireless systems and technologies much faster, which ties into what? The Internet of Bodies, because when this mark of the beast, which is the implantable microchip, is established, it will basically be able to merge man into a whole system, whereby ESO, which obviously the main point of it, you'll be able to use to, buy and sell, right? But then the actual scriptures also talks about, spirits of devils working miracles, man. You see, he actually speaks about that, of spirits of devils working miracles, and being able to detect in a person's blood if they need this or that, that's a miracle. Being able to make a blind man see, or a paralyzed person walk and such, that's a miracle. So spiritual, how back then when the C-19 came and was and brothers was talking about the shots, we made it clear that those shots in of itself ain't the mark of the beast, but don't take it. And what we did say was, hey, you never know. There's probably stuff in them shots that is basically trying to get people's body prepared for it. And now we're seeing all this information coming out. Again, the mark of the beast is the implantable microchip, man. But don't take them shots, because there's come out of so much information on what it's doing to people's hearts, man. You remember that documentary? Died suddenly. Anyway, it says new graphene brain implant to treat neurological disorders. The idea of implanting computer chips into human brains has a long history in science fiction. A quick search of the Internet Movie Database reveals that there are at least 55 movies and television shows featuring brain implants. Now, however, chip implants in the brain are set to join a growing list of technology that has gone from science fiction to science fact, and perhaps within our decade bring revolutionary solutions to meet a growing medical need. Spanish startup InBrain, which is a good name, that's what we're gonna do. In his forehead or in his hand, is about to start human trials of an implantable brain chip made of graphene. a highly conductive revolutionary material that's 200 times stronger than steel and only one atom thick. The great advantage of graphene is that it allows us to make a minimally invasive, highly biocompatible on-chip system that has incredible sensitivity, neural signal resolution with low power requirements. You know, but then again, if you go into it, it just speaks about how it can just make things faster and just things with speed. In fact, it says here in brains, and it's interesting. This is on the site of the European investment bank. This ain't just like just a random site. This is on the site of the European Investment Bank, right? And this article is just posted the other day. Whilst people were getting prepared for dancing and Christmas and open up their presents, this information is being brought out. In-brain system on a chip contains a skin-like neural interfaces made of graphene and a wireless rechargeable neural processor that together with advanced machine learning software, right, it enables neural signals in the brain to be mapped and decoded. It says the system can identify irregular electrical signals in the brain, which in the case of Parkinson's disease cause uncontrollable shaking. It says it then emits electrical pulses to modulate these, thereby control symptoms in real time. In the future, the system will also be able to decode thought-to-speech in patients with post-stroke apnea or paralyzing disorders. You see? Even here, I keep just going to the point. It says the potential impact of this technology for the treatment of neurological disorders like Parkinson's and potentially epilepsy, depression, or even speech impairment. So even people who have speech impediments, just like me, or they're saying these sort of things, these implants can basically improve people's life. Well, that ties into the scriptures. Man. Right? This is Revelation 16. Right? 16. And 14. It says, for the 5 and 13, and I saw 3 unclean spirits like frogs come out the mouth of the dragon and the mouth of the beast, and out of the mouth of the false prophet, right? Which the 3 unclean spirits like frogs applies to the 3 city states, being Washington, DC, which is the military, stronghold, strong point, arm, and then you got Vatican, a city, right, which is the religious, standpoint, through the Roman Catholic, church and all his babies. And then you got the city of London, man, right? The stronghold in finance, right? And so what did it say though? for they are spirits like of devils working miracles, which go forth unto the kings of the earth and the whole world to gather them to the battle of the great day of the Almighty. But if you go into the word for miracles, right, it says a sign, a mark, a token, right? And if you go, it says transcending the common course of nature, you know, an unusual occurrence, right? Spirits of devils working miracles. Now, being able to implant a person with a chip that now makes them who can't speak be able to speak, those that can't see be able to see, those that can't walk be able to walk. That essentially in itself, in the eyes of these people, it's a miracle. But the scripture says if you take that mark, that their severe judgment will take place. All right. I had some more articles, man, but that's really the point. You know, it just speaks about it, man. You're speaking about, you know, this is deep, man. But it's powerful because back then, when the shots was coming out, our apostles on down said, look, it's not explicitly the mark of the beast. However, these things in them could be getting people's body prepared for it. And there's various clips that I posted throughout this video where basically there's people that have taken them shots whereby their body is starting to emit a Bluetooth signal, man. Come on, bro. You can't make that up, man. All right, so I think I hit the points that I wanted to make. I'm sure I had another kind of article. But even if you just type in graphene microchips, right? It just says here, you know, that's the first article that I made. I went into. It says graphene could make our chips 10 times faster. So why isn't it being used? See, kinky graphene stritronics for smaller, faster microchips. China gambles on graphene to win the global microchip war. It says future chips may be 10 times faster, all thanks to graphene. It says IBM and Samsung unveil breakthrough microchip design. It says graphene and beyond, the wonder materials that could replace silicon in future tech. It says incredible new graphene breakthrough could make computers thousands of times faster. And it just proves the point that was made, man. That those things that's in people's flesh that got pushed into them, you know, will potentially, you know, make these things, you know, work better when they come and faster once the mark comes to pass, which proves that it's all part of a plan, man, like an agenda. Because remember, the scripture says this, right? This is Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord power had made, man. Now if you go into the word subtle, shrewd, it says subtle, shrewd, crafty, sly, sensible. You see? Now he's crude, he's crafty, he's sly in a wicked way, right? You see? Because remember, the actual scripture speaks about what the crafty counsels, right? This is Job 5:12. It says he disappointed the devices of the crafty so that their hands cannot perform their enterprise. Because guess what? Their global agenda is only going to get so far before it is taken down. But the mark of the beast is going to be established. That's facts. But it's only going to get to a certain point. This is Revelation 13:16, and it says, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in the right hand or in the foreheads. And that's that word what? Haragma. Right? And it's gonna be a thing carved, and it's gonna be an incision into people's flesh, a thing that's gonna be pushed into people's flesh. You know what I mean? A stake is gonna be impaled into them in their right hand or in their foreheads. And that no man might buy or sell save he that have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. And this is something that's going to be incorporated into people's daily lives. Being able to buy and sell. Now, being able to buy and sell, that's a transactions. And we like in our daily lives even now, you know, there's all types of transactions that take place on a daily basis. But the scripture is saying that this is going to be a physical thing pushed into people's flesh, and that's going to be the center of being able to buy and sell. But with that technology, there'll be spirits of devils working miracles, man. Making the blind see, the paralyzed be able to walk, and much more, man. But what does the scripture say? The scripture says if you take it, right, judgment's going to come on you, man. Revelation 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead and his hand, all right, if you worship this new NWO, you know what I mean, agenda, which is being pushed heavy by the beast, which is the NATO, you know what I mean, and the EU, the power structure of Esau, right? And if you worship this new system and receive it, the actual mark, the physical thing in his forehead of his hand, the same shall drink the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation. And he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels and the presence of the Lamb. So when the Lord comes back, man, you're going to feel that fire. And them missiles, them lasers, and so on and so forth, man. Judgment, man. But that's why the scripture says, you know, give them warning. The Lord has set us to be a watchman unto the house of Israel, man. So anyone getting upset that we keep talking about the mark and such things, person's going off, man. But I hope and pray this video has been edifying. With that, Mr. Praises be unto Yahweh, Shema Shai, Bashim Kakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Till next time, we're going to say Shalom.